Hey guys, it's me Suja over here. Welcome back to another video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about is India safe? Um, so no spoiler alert. Um, no, it's not. Um, so if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. The name of my channel is called Suja in Vietnam. I've been living in Vietnam for over 7 years. I was an English teacher before for 4.5 years, and then I started my online business. I'm also a full-time YouTuber, so if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, it takes less than 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, and that way you can support my work. Let me just have a bit of my evening tea. So I got a message from one of my subscribers here in India, and she actually asked me that am I finding India's do I find India to be safe, right? As you know that I'm out here on a short stay, I'm documenting my experiences out here living in India. Yes, I do find it very very challenging. As a non-residential Indian, as an NRI, um, things like um, safety, security, constantly being stared at. Not with a smile, but like they give you that dead stare, and it's kind of very intimidating. Um, So yeah, I'm just going to give you my personal experience of being here in India for over 3 months now. Um, and of course, I am Indian, so I just want to give you my personal experience, right? Um, to be honest, the city where I stay, yes, it is. It's usually safe for women. No issues about that. Um, but like if I look at India in general, right? Um, there are many cities in India which are just not very safe for women. Especially after specific hours in the evening. Um, I have two cousin sisters. I was born and brought up in Delhi, and Delhi is not a very safe city, especially after 8 p.m., after 8:30. It's just that it's not very safe for girls. So I mean, I remember, when my cousin sisters, like they would not go out after a specific hour because they don't find it safe. You're going out with a bunch of friends, that's a different issue altogether. But going out alone at night, like around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., I'm sure it's not going to be a very comfortable experience, right? I'm talking about women, right? But I just want to talk about my personal experience. I just went for an evening walk, right? And I did my workouts, and then I took a shower. I went out for my evening walk. Everything was all right, and then of course I was sweating a bit, and then I was just walking around. But yeah, I mean, I do get stares. Like especially it comes from Indian men. Um, I'm straight. I'm not a faggot, right? Especially it comes from Indian men, and especially if they're on their motorbikes or just like sitting around, they'll just stare at you, like give you that dead stare. I mean, I don't mind if people are staring with a smile. That's a different issue. Or someone says hello. I would definitely say hello back. But you don't have this concept here in India. It's very alien, right? Like, unlike in America, in Australia, if I just go for a walk at the park or somewhere, random people just say, can say good morning, good evening, and then you can just say good morning, evening, how are you, and everything. You don't have that concept here in India, and even if you do, like, people will look at you like a weirdo. They'll think, what's wrong with this Indian guy, like, or like, I was like feeling so fucking uncomfortable this evening. I was coming back from my evening walk. Yeah, I was sweating around because I was walking, and felt like I had, like, a lot of nearly, um like, most of the men, they would, like, look at me, and even the women, like, some of the women, like, they would just walk by, and they'll give you that shitty look, as if, like, I'm something is, like, yeah. I mean, I'm out for my evening walk, so of course it's hot outside, so of course I'm going to sweat a bit. So, but you know what I mean, it's just that, it makes you feel very uncomfortable, right? It makes you feel very uncomfortable. And, like, today, I just did a kind of a social experiment. So, I was sweating around. I was coming back, and there's a signal, traffic signal. All the bikes and cars stopped, and like, I would say 70% of the people on their bikes, they were, like, looking at me, like, this guy's sweating around, and they're just, like, giving me that shitty stare. So I wanted to see how many people in my city would be staring at me. So what I did was, because I know I have a lot of tattoos on my arms, I just, I just brandished my tattoo. I just took out my sleeve like this. As soon as they saw it, they were like, "Oh, there's this." And I do this sometimes out here. Like, sometimes if some Indian men, if they're pissing me off, they're staring at me, or they're giving me that dead stare, or I just show a bit of my tattoo. They'll be like, "Oh, like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to see this guy, I don't want to make him feel, I do that sometimes out here. It's not that I want to expose my tattoos or something, but I do that sometimes so that I can. It's my way of saying, back the fuck off, right? Back the fuck off. You're making me feel uncomfortable. Stop staring at me, or you know what I mean. Um, I never had this experience in Thailand, even in Vietnam. Like, if I'm in the city, in Ho Chi Minh City, in the countryside, it's a different situation because you don't. I didn't have. There are no foreigners in the countryside, so that's a different issue altogether. But I'm talking about city life. I'm talking about city life. If I'm taking a city life in Vietnam, I'm taking a city life in Thailand, like Bangkok. Never, never. They will never stare at you. They'll always mind their business. And of course, sometimes they look at me, but they'll look at me with a smile, or it's just, you know. But I never had this situation where they'll just give you that shitty look or whatever, which unfortunately happens out here. So, and of course, if you're traveling to India, and like, you're coming from a different country, or a Westerner and everything, of course, I highly recommend you take precautions. My best advice is, be as simple as possible. Don't flash your phone. Don't flash your, don't wear any fancy T-shirts or whatever. Walk around the streets. Because there will be people. They will look at you, or maybe they'll come over. They want to take a selfie and all that shit. This never happens in Southeast Asia. I mean, if I look at Vietnam, Thailand, or any other Southeast Asian country, they won't do like this. They won't be going up to a foreigner and saying, "Hey, I want to take a selfie with you. I want to take a selfie with you." Because I remember, like, my ex-wife, she was from the Philippines. I'm a divorced guy right now, but when she came to India out here, I remember we had gone to Mysore. To see the Mysore Palace, and like, a lot of Indians, they came up. "Excuse me, can I take a picture of her with my family?" This, that, it's just like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? It makes you feel very uncomfortable. So my honest answer is, no, I don't find India to be a safe country. Even in my city, I don't find it to be safe. There will be people looking at you, staring at you without a smile, and they make you feel very uncomfortable. I would say that. And it gets very intimidating. And my advice is don't go up to them and say, "Hey, why are you looking at me? Do you have a problem?" Because I know in the Western country, in a Western environment, staring is a very bad thing. Like people will come up to you and say, "Do you have a problem? Why are you staring at me?" or whatever. But here in India, you got to be very careful, because if you do that, they can easily try to have an argument with you. They can even get physical with you. They can have a fight with you, and it's very easy. It's very easy out here in India to get into some altercation, verbal altercation, fights. Um, and they'll get their buddies and everything, so it can get very nasty. So be very careful. Just mind yourself. Just move on, because at the end of the day, um, your level is up here and their level is down there. People, I strongly feel that people in India who are like making other Indians feel uncomfortable, staring at them or giving that shitty look and all that, their level is way down. So you don't need to go down their level. Just move on. That's my best advice. So yeah, it's very challenging. uh so yeah, honestly, I feel like sometimes I really feel like giving up, but it's just but like I said, I'm just documenting my stay out here. Let me see how long I can last. um but yeah, I mean, I would really like to see, like, a year down the line, or maybe after 2 years, more and more Indians, they try to be more educated, improve their mentality, try to understand that making someone else feel uncomfortable is not a good thing. It's very cheap. And I think this is the lack of education which most Indians have when they are in their school. I think this should have been taught in the educational system, that it's bad to stare at people. Don't stare. um, make people feel comfortable. Just try to be. And I'm telling you, India is not an environment out here like, hey, how are you, or something. Because sometimes, most of the Indians, they'll look at you like a weirdo. They'll look at you like a weirdo. And I did this social experiment also today. Like, I asked one Indian girl, like, I just asked her, do you know what's the time? I was having my evening walk, and she was nice. She told me, it's. She showed me the phone. It's 7:25 and all that. But the dude behind me, I mean, he was a working guy. He was like wearing his office dress, and he was going back home, and he was like, he gave me a shitty look. So this is the kind of environment. I'm sorry to say, and sad to say, this is the kind of environment which you will find predominantly out here in India. So I mean, if you really want to fix it, if you're an Indian watching this, you got to understand that this is not right. It's just that, and that's the reason why many Indians, like, especially introvert Indians, they're very afraid to go and talk to some other Indians or whatever, because especially the opposite sex, because they feel like they'll be looked down, they'll be looked down with hate, or why is this guy sweating around, or body shaming. And a lot of body shaming happens out here in India. I just want to say this. Sometimes, like, if someone's short, or like some tall Indian guy walking by, he'll like body shame someone else who is short. you know so that a lot of body shaming goes on out here. It's a very sad state. So I really hope things improve over time. And if you're an Indian watching this, make sure to educate your friends, your family members. Be a bit more knowledgeable, be a bit more understanding. If you see some other Indians walking by, or if you see someone, like an NRI or whatever it is, try to be a bit more comfort, a bit more nicer. Like, just because, at the end of the day, we are all social animals. We want to socialize, and it's just that, I would love the environment to be a bit more relaxing, instead of like people are always staring around. Is that I don't. So yeah. So according to me, India is not safe. No fucking ways, it's not. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, are you an NRI visiting out here in India? Do you find India to be challenging? Do you find it to be unsafe? Or if you're an Indian watching this, like, what are the things you would like to change in your country? How do you think India can be more safer? How do you think the mentality of most of the Indians should change? And yeah, if you like watching this video, make sure to like my video and all the good stuff. And if you found the video to be informational, you can always buy me a coffee. The link is down in the description below. With that being said, you guys have a great evening. This was me, Joy. Peace out.